Hello and welcome back, dweebs. I am Kev, and today we are talking about American Psycho, brought to you by Sumerian Comics. This is written by Michael Calero, drawn by Peter Kowalski, colored by Brad Simpson, and lettered by Micah Myers, not to be confused with the Haddonfield shape. This is issue one of a four-issue run, as I understand it. And I must say, I thoroughly enjoy this comic, so we are going to spoil it here a little bit. I would highly recommend that you go and check it out for yourself before you let me spoil it for you. But I am going to spoil it for you, and maybe for some of you, maybe after I talk to you about it, you may be convinced to go and buy it yourself, because I have seen some mixed reviews about this comic. So I'm going to tell you why I like it. And for those same reasons, you may not like it. So let's address that right away. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Those are always encouraged. Please like and subscribe if you have time for that whole thing. We would greatly appreciate it here at Dweeb. The Dweeb Criticult merger is in full effect, and we are so happy to be bringing this content to all of you. So let's begin. American Psycho, issue one. I have to return some videotapes. So the story begins in 1987, and Patrick Bateman does not start as our main point of view character. Instead, it is Donald Kimball, former detective, for those of you who are familiar with the film or the book. And Donald Kimball is filling in with that Patrick Bateman introductory role. He's the one giving us his morning routine. He doesn't appear to be a detective this time, and he certainly appears to be a creep in his own right. I can't tell if he's a private eye or just a stalker who's treating it like a job, but we do see him following this woman who inevitably runs into Patrick Bateman, much to the chagrin of Don Kimball. And this is where it leads me to think he's more of a stalker than just even a private eye. You know, he talks at the beginning, "I've got important work to do." But then when old Pat Bateman and the lady start doing things that, Patrick Bateman does with ladies before the killing starts, okay, I'm gonna try to keep this eligible for monetization, but he's calling her, a salute over and over again. He's very angry at this lady. How could you let him defile you like that? The specific wording is given some real incel energy, if I can be so bold. So I don't really know what Kimball's whole deal is, and it gets worse because once Patrick Bateman starts doing that thing that he always does, murdery bits with an axe, Kimball's reaction isn't, "Oh my god, this is horrible." He's, "Oh, I underestimated you. You're more than I thought. It's beautiful." So, as I said, Kimball is a freaky bastard in his own right in this run of the story, which is a big deviation, as far as I know it, certainly from the movie and from the finished novel. Perhaps that's part of the extended lore. Maybe there's been a sequel from Bret Easton Ellis at some point. I know that, was it Rules of Attraction? I know that the one of the main characters in that book is Patrick Bateman's younger brother. Patrick Bateman has a cameo in the book, not the movie. So, for all I know, that perhaps this is something that's been looked at in the source material somewhere, but it's new to me, and I would say is certainly new to most casual fans of this work. So, Donald, that's a whole new wrinkle to this story, and I wonder if at any point it will turn to Patrick Bateman being the main character, or if it's going to continue to be this sort of he's around and while certainly doing important things, if it's going to have something to do with all the other characters. And the reason I say that is that after the 1987 timeline kind of wraps up there, it jumps to 2011. And the 2011 storyline revolves around a character named Charlene or Charlie Carruthers, a surname that should sound familiar again to fans of the book or the movie. That is Lewis's last name. If you can't remember Lewis, Lewis is Patrick's friend that he nearly strangles in the bathroom. And then Lewis is like, "Oh, Patrick, I had no idea you felt this way." You remember, okay? So I wonder in this version of the story, is Charlie Carruthers a daughter or a niece of Lewis? Is that like, is this character related to Lewis somehow? Is it relevant to the original story, or is this just an Easter egg callback homage to that original? But like, oh hey, we're remember Carruthers? Easter egg, we got it in there. So anyway, we shall see about Charlie. But in the story, Charlie is at a bar with a dude. We don't know if he's a scumbag or not, but we very quickly find out that he is because he drugs her, takes her into the bathroom. They start making out. She tells him to stop. He doesn't stop. She has this vision, maybe hallucination, maybe it's just her imagination. Running away with Charlie. Sorry, it might just be her imagination, but she smashes his head, just obliterates him. It's a very violent panel of the comic, but all she can manage to do in reality is vomit on his head. A friend then shows up to save Charlie, and she helps her get a cab, walks Charlie out, helps her get to the cab. And then the story returns to the creeper from before, who, having been shut down, now walks back into the bar before he is eventually kicked out, and an unknown, difficult to see figure stabs this creep in the alleyway, leaving him for dead. The murderer then leaves Charlie's ID in a puddle of blood near the body. So what the hell is going on there? Some of the feedback I saw from people said it felt more like a filler. They didn't feel like it was a complete issue, which is interesting because I've had that feedback before. That was the feedback I had for issue 1 of Blue Book. Go check that out right now. The audio is available on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Video coming soon, may be available on our YouTube channel by the time you watch this. But I had similar feedback, so I can relate to that. Maybe it's just a bit of my own nostalgia, loving the source material and the film that was made off of that source material. Maybe I just came into it willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because I want to see where the story will go, but I did see a lot of reviews saying not much happening here. So I will concede that, although this is a slow starter, I am personally interested in seeing where the story goes. I appreciate these new layers with Kimball, with Charlie, the multiple timelines, with Pat Bateman not being our narrator, first, at least for the opening issue. So the art has looked good as well. I've got some images we'll show there so you can get just a glimpse of it. And I'm hopeful that the story will match the level of the art. I'm debating still between a 5-star or 10-point scale. So, luckily for me, this one's easy. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars or 7 out of 10. But what about you? What do you think? Let us know what you think of the story so far in a comment below. What theories do you have for where the story is going? Be sure to like and subscribe if you would be so kind so you can be notified when we cover the remaining 3 issues of this run. We have plenty in store for comic fans, so we will see all of you very soon. Don't forget Han Shot First for all you Star Wars fans, live Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And James and I will be talking the Loki series coming up soon, as well as reviving the Criticult preview reviews. So, again, the best way to catch all of this new dweeb content that is coming in is to hit that subscribe button, follow it up with that notification bell. But until then, take care, my fellow dweebs. We will see you